Okay, hello guys, my name is Kuliyoshi, and welcome back to my 100% playthrough of Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. Last video, we got the Sacred Sword, the Master Sword for the Temple of the Sacred Sword. We also cleared a bunch of Linkle's stuff as well, and now we're going to take the fight to Sia. This might be a bit more difficult than usual. Definitely. Even on easy, sometimes you can get really bad luck if you don't know what you're doing. Particularly in trying to make sure the other objectives are completed.
With a string of victories behind them, the Hyrulean army's morale had improved remarkably. Even Link began to feel that he was invincible while the Master Sword was in his hands. Soon he was allowing overconfidence to cloud his judgment, rushing headlong into hordes of enemies.
Oh.
Sia had been waiting for Link to overextend himself, giving her a chance to strike. And as the two sides battled, unknown eyes watched from the shadows.
More like Ganondorf's eyes, because that's all that really is. And once again, there's not a lot I can do here. No heart containers to be collected, nor regular other stuff to be collected. We are basically just going to go here, and I kind of skipped the intro. I'm just gonna do a couple of slashes at each of these, but not actually take them. Beyond that, we're going to basically go for each of these magic heaps and clear them as fast as possible. If we don't kill them, an enchanted enemy will spawn, making them much more stronger. So we have to capture all the magic heaps here, and if they ever summon stuff, then the morale of the different opponents will improve. Thankfully, it's pretty straightforward to see where the connection. You get a one character who gets one side, and then the other character gets the other side. So thankfully, we have a little bit of an advantage here. Beyond that, though, there's not much else to say about this. Obviously, that's already part of the main objective, but if we do this later, we will also have a side character to protect in, yes, the form of Link. He's the character we have to protect. If we lose him, we basically lose the battle. Part of doing this extra killing is both to force something kind of early, as well as, doing other stuff. And another part of the reason why I clear out all the keeps is so that the opponents that do those keeps get stalled and don't actually do anything. And by the way, similar to the regular game, we don't have to deal with all of the other stuff. And yes, you have to get rid of all of these to, I'll come to you in just a minute, but I need to do some other stuff. I'll start by making sure these main front keeps get captured first, and then we'll go into the area, because once we get in here, Sia kind of just traps us. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Here's the cutscene we're waiting for. The sword is just a tool for the weak to slay around. Only fools and men put confidence in them. Arrogance, ego, pridefulness. This darkness nurtured within you shall be your undoing. Oh boy. And Dark Link appears. So now Link has to fight a version of himself, which in this game does not mimic their movements, is simply just a clone of Link here. And now we have to deal with Dark Link. This is where things get a bit tricky. From here, we're just going to ignore the goal of killing the monsters and just kill off Dark Links as fast as possible. You have to fight like 2 of them here before you can do stuff. There's also a couple of monsters that occasionally appear, but beyond that, you basically stay here and eventually a trap will essentially lock you inside and you're forced to attack stuff until things get through. It's a bit obnoxious. And then here we'll see that more Dark Links have appeared. And now we have to take out those guys as well. Alright. Even with the Master Sword, it takes a little while to do stuff. Oh, and we get a cutscene while we're in the middle of this. So, we have this character that's kind of just waiting for some other stuff, but only a few minutes after the Dark Links start rampaging, yep, the Demon King makes his appearance here. So, yeah, now we have a secondary set of forces to deal with, and it's even more annoying now. This is where the mission gets really hard because there's lots of stuff we have to deal with. But we'll start by just doing with our main objective is we basically just keep on having to kill these Links off. You know what? I probably should actually help him out this time. So you know what? I'm going to delay the Dark Link setup a bit. I cut some extra magic heaps there just so that when they get captured, all their pathways will not be taken out. Now there are a couple of enemies to deal with, including these rally captains. Like if one of them survives, they will basically deal with some other stuff. So, I'm gonna actually help the forces retreat. Didn't I already kill him? Yeah, I did. I killed him so fast that you didn't even get a chance to do other stuff. Okay, this is where our, oh, that's just a side mission. Okay, we have to go up top here if we want to really stop the setup. See, that's the bad part. That's where Zelda gets attacked, and it gets really annoying. See, just look at all these soldiers. There's so many of them. Okay, we got rid of the shield moblins, which are by far the worst part. That should help Zelda hopefully retreat enough. Beyond that, though, we're just gonna go through and stop the Dark Links one by one now. Oh, and now Impa's in trouble, all the way at the top right. We'll help him in a minute. I just need to go through and take out some of our stuff. There's not a lot you can do with these Veshin. Yeah, I honestly don't care if that magic heap falls. But right now I need to make sure Impa's safe. I don't even know where Impa was the last time I checked. Well, if he gets dangerous, then maybe I'll have to use our friends. And Zelda's already in trouble. I have a way to deal with this, though. Let's start by killing off all these moblins here that are trying to take this stuff. And then we need to command Darunia to go towards Link. Because if Zelda dies, our battle's over. So we need to go towards the Zelda player right now. And then just have Link go for the cutscene. And yes, I killed off all the Dark Ranks. You have to kill a minimum of 2, and then after a certain amount of cutscene time has passed, you just finish. Okay. So anyways, now Sears trapped the Skulltulas room, and now we have to fight them but by ourselves with limited heals. And eventually, after you wait a little bit, you kind of just have to keep on doing other stuff. There's not a lot you can do here. I like how I defeated all those moblins, and almost immediately there's more of them. That's just ridiculous. How quickly they do traps. But they're about to vanish, now that we've defeated them all. Lana actually saves us in the end. So Lana, the Solitaire, gets to be the hero this time. Oh, and Darunia helps too. Even though they weren't even near the immediate area, they kind of are up here anyway. Real strength only comes from knowing your weaknesses. Alright. Now Link should be rescued. Because we took out the Dark Lynx. So now we just hold this up. And then, mysteriously, every single Dark Link just vanishes. And now we no longer have to deal with the regular forces. So now our only course of action is to make sure Zelda stays alive, and then when the time comes, we have to attack and take out us. But first, Sia's gonna summon a great number of monsters. And now she just so she shouts all those monsters and then just leaves. We're gonna kill some of them for some extra points. Eventually, after a couple of cutscenes, Ganondorf will open. Beyond that, we kind of just have to wait until Ganondorf makes his appearance, and then we can finally kill him. So now Malastard is awakening its true power, which is gonna help us deal with these opponents a bit easier. And, oh yeah, we have to help our friends retreat as well, but we also have to do our stuff. Oh, everybody has to be safe now. That's a bit obnoxious. Cover Hyrulean forces as they retreat. Oh, okay, here's our skilled summoner that we can just defeat really quick with our special. Again, the skilled summoner should just be taken out right away. That just makes it a lot easier. Yeah, actually, the forces will be retreating this time. Okay, now we actually get to kill Ganondorf or Ganondorf or whatever. My dad is a funny nickname for him, but I can't really figure out. And yes, you can see I am quite a bit higher leveled than before. Last time I was like level 35 with Link, now I'm like level 50-ish. Oh, and by the way, if Zelda or any of the friends perish during this cutscene, it doesn't actually count it as a victory. Like, if they die during that part, they actually count as a loss, but we defeated them, so it's fine. I thank you for your courage. You have saved me from a terrible fate. You dare raise the blade of evil's bane to me? So be it. Hyrule's blood will be on your hands. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's right. We get to see this. I just realized his victory theme is unique. Hey. That's pretty crazy, victory theme. They really made that one epic. There's no reason whatsoever. Let's see what we actually got here. We got Link's Scarf, which we get from the Dark Link. Metal Moblin Shield, which is from those ads. Ganondorf's Gauntlet, which is a guaranteed drop. And Link's Boots, which is another semi-rare drop, and that's from the Dark Links. And we have some shield model hamlets and some other advantages and whatnot. So yeah, it's a bit cool. And rather than going into the other stuff, we're going to go straight into the Valley of Sears. This is where the initial epilogue takes place, but it's not actually the full epilogue, as you'll see in a minute. But before we do that, I'm going to try and badge attack Link to get him as powerful as possible. So we're going to use Ganondorf's gauntlets to do that. Unfortunately, you do have to do a lot of stuff here to get that done. Now, there are ways to find these materials better, as you haven't already been made aware. There is an area called Adventure Mode, where you could just take out bosses as soon as possible. That's going to be our main source of most of the farming stuff. Beyond that, though, there's not a lot of else that could be done. Impa, I'm gonna get him that. And that as well. And we are about to face a light element state, so we're gonna do this on all characters. Oh, I forgot he's not done his empty ball yet. Okay, now Dooney is kind of far behind here. But now he has some Aerovol leveler, which is nice, so we could just get that on all of him. Okay. Beyond that, that's about it. Okay, that's about it. Now we have all these forces to do stuff, and I'm just gonna go into this and kind of tell you what to do later. So, this is the final area of the game, or initially intended to be the final area of the game. And yes, I did not get any art pieces there because, well, I could not get them. But now we can, so we are going to do that. So anyways, on to the Valley of Sears. And, sorry if I am making things crazy. We have a couple of stuff that can be gotten here, but beyond that, there's not a lot that can be done. I think my objective is going to be to just get our stuff done. Let's trade this first and also make sure I'm using a Master Sword.
Link's rashness nearly cost him his life as shadowy doubles overwhelmed him.
Oh yeah,
At
definitely.
this moment, Link's allies salvaged a rescue from otherwise certain defeat. The Master Sword is a mighty weapon, but its true power can be used only by someone who understands the bonds of friendship. The Hyrulean army was rallying its strength, but Sia's forces still controlled much of their homeland. The only way to save Hyrule was to defeat Sia. The Hyrulean army headed to the Valley of Sears to force a decisive battle. But Sia did not sit idle, despite her overwhelming advantage. She found new ways to fortify her troops using her own life force.
Yeah,
The
that
cost
seems
herself was
bad.
irrelevant, so long as she crushed her enemies. The final battle between the armies of light and darkness was about to unfold.
Okay, so for the heart piece, when we get to the top of the map to take out Sia, there is a boulder near there that will contain our heart piece. Midna is not in this battle, unfortunately, but when we use Midna, at least in free play mode, then Midna will have a heart piece where you just have to take control of Eastroom's room. But beyond that, this area is kind of difficult. There's lots of sanctums that have to be taken out, and this has arguably one of the most obnoxious sanctums in the game. And for reasons I'm told, I won't actually be killing the opponents at all, because if we want to get this done, we have to basically lure them. I like how it has the epic music, though, and everything, just to make it more epic. There's probably a weapon somewhere, so I'm going to make sure that I get it. The biggest interesting thing is this part really tests your ability to go through and kill all of the other opponents. Also, this is one out of the first truly hard missions in the game, because it has a really obnoxious objective where if you do not clear it out, it'll be really hard to get through. And can definitely take a little while. So we have to keep Zelda safe, but not only that, but we have to take out all the sanctums so that the army starts getting really overpowerful. So yeah, we're kind of just going through and capturing the other keeps. And I actually want to leave one of these two in particular, because later we'll have to lure some enemies before it, and they will stop to take out the keeps. So we need to just do a bit of weakening instead. So we're actually just going to ignore a lot of the keeps from here on out, and basically just attack our stuff. And Link, you're gonna go to this sanctum right here. And also, Darunia, you're gonna go on with him. You're gonna have to do a lot of commanding in this, just so you know. You probably want to command two people to go straight away. Actually, look at all these units here. There's lots of enemies advancing. And you can see Zelda gets in trouble really quickly. Whoa, where is he? Oh, there she is. We probably should have helped her out a bit more, but oh well. Alright. Alright. Okay, here it is. There it is. See, now you see a Sanctum suddenly appear. This is where we had to do other stuff. Now, all of our friends will get in trouble very often because so many powerful enemies that it just gets really hard to get through stuff. And yeah, it can get pretty bad sometimes, so you're basically forced to go around with your different races and essentially body block everyone while also rescuing them as they get low. And see, just look at this. That's so many Dynafos you have to take out. Like, the Dynafos alone are really annoying, but then you have to deal with all these forces. It's really annoying. Okay. Okay, now he's gonna use a cutscene and just summon a bunch of dark forces here. Allow me to teach you a lesson. This is probably the worst part of the mission right here. Thankfully, we do have a split team, so we can work with our friends to help out, but beyond that, we basically just have to lure two target forces with the flashing dots to the middle of the map. And then we also have to wait for Voga to come there as well. And also, yes, there's a Gaia Souls now, apparently. See ya, stop! Your spirit can't take much more of this. And Dark Forces have now received reinforcements. See ya, this is your work, isn't it? So now we get to go to the fairy fountain proper. So this is the reason why we don't want to necessarily remove all the opponents immediately, because there will be some extra enemies to defeat, and we want to lure two of them towards the rightward side. But for now, we're going to actually... I'm gonna start by actually just following the game and escorting Zelda to the fairy fountain. Yeah, I don't care that the keep's in peril. It's likely going to fall multiple times during the battle. And now we see the icons that appear, and now we have to actually draw the enemies in. So we're going to do that. Alright. Icy Big Paul, you're gonna come with me. So once you get near one of the characters, they will basically follow you wherever you want. As soon as they go through, and now see, oh, begin advancing. So our goal is to lure this guy to the area north of the fairy fountain, and then when all the icons go away, we have to use the magical circle to make them go through. Keep in mind, they can be distracted by other forces, so we need to make sure these keeps are not captured yet. Just to make sure that he goes through. Beyond that, yeah, I think he got stuck. Oh, see, now... Also, they'll try to advance towards Zelda as well. Okay, now we need to discover Dynafulls here. I probably should have done this a bit sooner. Okay, now he's going to attack me. Something's not right. I've never felt this power before. Unfortunately, there's a lot of captains that are just gonna flee because of this, but that's just the way it is. Okay, see, now we have this. Dynafulls no slab begin advancing, and now he will advance. This is probably one of the more obnoxious objectives. Just so you know, if you do not complete this objective, Sia's magic will strengthen the forces a bit further and just make this very overpowered. If you want to do the Skulltula, then it's best to do it either in a separate playthrough or immediately after doing normal mode, or as other stuffs have gone through. Beyond that, though, I think I'm just... Actually, Link is near this. We're just going to use Link to do this instead. Oh, he's probably on the other end. That's obnoxious. Please tell me he's not gonna flee before I get this. Okay, thank goodness. Alright, now I'm gonna use Lana to activate this. So now all the pairs are nearby and Voga's also entered, so once all that goals are complete, you can use the magic circle in the fairy fountain, and that will instantly kill all of the enemies here. So we get to see arguably one of the better great fairy animations in the entire game. It's going to weaken Voga a lot, and it's also going to defeat both of those opponents we have earlier, as well as anybody else who happens to be in the middle. That's basically what you need to do. If you don't do this, it'll say the objective is failed, and that's when you know bad things are gonna happen, because then magic will strengthen the forces. So anyways, this big light stream kind of goes into the middle of the forces, and they kind of get obliterated. And see, look! 720! I think that was good enough, don't you think? And now we fight Voga. That's about it. Now that we've done that, we have to fight Voga now, and Voga's a bit tricky, but not too bad. Okay. So anyways, it says, as mission successful, which means we did our goal. And as you can see, they suffered heavy casualties, specifically 700 to be precise. Also, we'll go ahead and kill Voga real quick here. And now we'll kind of just go around and kill other stuff. Ha! Why are you acting so crazy? If you do not... So, Sia tells them they basically failed, but if you were to fail the mission, then Sia will say something like, "Oh, is that the best you can do?" She'll basically taunt you for not doing this, but if you get it correct, then that's what she says. I lose, but I do so without regrets. Voga lost? Well, of course he did. I'm surrounded by failures. Okay, now we kind of just go and destroy everything, and also now we can actually properly attack the opponents now. Let go of your inhibition. Do not let a single one survive. My apologies if I said it right. You will die! Yeah, well, you're the one that's about to die in a minute. So anyways, Sia divides into copies, and now's where the actual true fight begins. We have to take out Sia, and that will finish off this mission. If you did not do that, then you would have to deal with Volga and all those extra tubes, and it'd be quite bad. Leave your basis defenses to me. Sia's your responsibility. So here we go. We finally get to fight the evil sorceress Sia, as I've nicknamed her. She is evil, yes. Oh gosh. Do you have to do that? Alright. A lot of people probably have nicknamed her the evil girl version of Ganondorf, but she's kind of her own thing. So anyways, we have to take out every single Sia here to win, and that's about it. And yes, there's not a lot we can do now that we're done. Also, the heart container will be in one of the right or side slots. That's an early chest. Again, I think this is where the heart piece is. But we can't get it unless we have, I forget who it is on our team. Thankfully, we can still use Link if we use free play mode. And yes, I'm only doing Legend Mode run once. Okay, so now that we've defeated 2 of the Sias. Isn't this the fake one? Oh, no, this is the chest. Okay. So, just down the steps in one of these hidden areas is our heart piece. I mean, heart container. What am I talking about? Heart container, which gives us an extra heart first. These will be very useful, in particular when we deal with hard mode, because if we don't go with a lot of hearts, it's possible to die very quickly. Beyond that, the rest of the mission after you defeat Volga in that part is pretty much straightforward, since Sia doesn't really have anything left to throw you at this point. You basically just take her out, and that's the end of the battle. It is definitely a hard battle. Just to prove you, I lost this mission multiple times on easy when I played this on the Wii U. I did play this on the Wii U, which is probably why I'm not considering this a blind playthrough, and this for me was my least favorite mission. Or actually, rather, I watched my brother lose this mission multiple times, and that's when I figured out you just have to lure them to that area. So we have defeated Sia, now hopefully she'll win. We've seen how this ends, and we both know he didn't choose you. How do you do it, knowing you'd get left behind? You don't always get the person you think you deserve, and I can live with that. You always were my better half. Mysteriously, she just vanishes. And with her, the Triforce of Power is given to Lana instead. And this will come into play later. Okay. And now everybody returns to their respective worlds. Well, that's that. See you next crisis. Let's put Hyrule back in order. This is not the actual ending, by the way. This is just a fake ending. They do use the Triforce to remove all the badness. So all those worlds that were there before are now gone. But not everything is over. There, things should be as they were. With that, I should go. Lana? Will we meet again? Goodbye. That's all she says. Okay. Wait, there's still this. She closes the gates of Eight of Souls as well. This is actually a longer cutscene than I thought. So this is supposedly the ending, but it's not. Link, of course, becoming the hero he so deserves. Oh, here we go. Now the fun really begins. So by doing all of the triggers and breaking the spiritual locks, Ganon gets the last of his fragments. So now Ganondorf does stuff. And as you saw, Ganondorf is a playable character. That's because for the next episode, we will be using him. So we get to see a bit of evil action for the first time. He's not one of the best characters, but he's definitely better than most. He's definitely a good evil character. He has his own way of special attacking as well, which I'll probably show off as well. And of course, we get the iconic Ganondorf laugh before the mission ends, and there we go. Oh, we got a really good weapon for that, and we get Sia's staff by defeating her, just by winning that. And we also get the essence of the Icy Big Pose as well. So that is done. Alright, now we get a lot of our storylines, which includes Sia's own tale. This is a tale that was not initially introduced in the original version of the game. So, that will show you how to do Sia's tale, but for the rest of the episodes, we are not going to actually do anything with the other characters. Instead, we're going to start by just... Oh, hang on. We're going to get Ganondorf here. We're going to power him up as much as we can, at least at the moment. This is one I really like going for, the weak point one, because this one makes the weak point just go faster. That one's definitely an important one to get rid of. Oh, and we have that as well. Now, normally I would go for that, but we still can't really upgrade much. This is because in order to really fully upgrade a character, we need to still do a few more missions. Beyond that, though, I'm just gonna start by powering up Ganondorf as much as he can, mainly giving him the shields to all the different elements, so he does not take a lot of damage. I definitely recommend ending these if you go into hard or hero mode. If you don't reduce the damage on some of those stages, they just one-shot you really quickly if you're really weak, so you need to be really powerful to really deal with them. Oh wow, we barely have enough to do that somehow. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna training dojo him now. Only a couple levels, but a small bit will help. Alright, that's going to be end. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe. We'll be entering basically Ganondorf %, where we have to do all of Ganondorf's missions, which are quite interesting to say the least. We'll be getting his Heart Containers along with that. Until then, though, I will see you guys later. Bye.